what is up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Shots Podcast, episode 101. We got Braxton Amos. This guy has had incredible college career up till this point, even on the freestyle and Greco side of things. Junior world champ, Olympic trials finalist, and you just went through your first real college season. So how are you feeling right now?
Feeling all right. Not the ending we all wanted, but I learned a lot this year, and we're still healthy. So what else can we ask for?
Yeah. So before we get into the podcast, Derek has a quick word from our sponsors now.
Sponsor. As all of you know, we're sponsored by Body Art Nutrition, a supplement company based out of Minnesota. Here's some of their products here. We have their new pre-workout and some of their protein. So you could find that linked in our description below, and you can use code HWTN20 at checkout to save 20% off your order. All right, Braxton, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Heavyweight Nation podcast. We, it's great to have you here. So, I guess we might as well just hop into it. What was it like this year? Your first NCAA season, the first normal, non-COVID college tournament. What was that like for you at Nationals this year?
It was weird. So I'd been there a couple of times before, just as a spectator, and it was weird kind of seeing like all the behind the scenes stuff. I wouldn't say it was hard to focus, but it was definitely hard to be like completely dialed in during the time that we had off between sessions, being like, oh, so this is how this works. So this is where all the teams are. It was kind of fun though. It was a lot of fun to, kind of get my hands on the tournament, and, it's not the way we all wanted it to end, but, like I said earlier, it's, I'm healthy. What else can I ask for?
Yeah, so you were in the weight class of the AJ Ferrari. You've obviously seen his stuff he says on social media. I'm pretty sure he just comes for anybody's head nowadays. I'm sure you've seen the stuff he said about you. So, what are your thoughts on that in general?
I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to him. As far as the social media goes, so I don't really know.
I have to. I remember yesterday we were filming podcasts with Don Bradley and Rocky Elam. He was like, yo, this dude loves to stir the pot because, the more drama I can cause, you know what I'm saying?
We're like the TMZ of the wrestling community.
Yeah, no, I like AJ. So AJ and I, we all of us, me, him, Plot, Doucette, the Mastros, we all go way back to middle school, either early middle school or late elementary school. We were on dual teams and stuff together. So, I've known him from there, and I think we're friends. I don't know, him and I don't really talk a whole lot anymore, but I thought last time and I talked, we were friends. So, unless something's changed, I don't think there's a whole lot of beef between us,
Yeah, I don't think anything's changed. I just I've talked to him a amount of times, nothing but good interactions. I just feel he knows what he's doing with the social media in terms of growing it and getting interactions,
Oh, yeah.
but you know what people's opinions are, obviously, about that.
Yeah, it's AJ's promoting AJ. Hats off to him. He's probably made himself a ton of money since NIL started.
Yeah.
So
definitely right.
We all play the game differently, and he's making money from it. So hats off to him.
Yeah. So I think just recently, speaking of NIL, you're with Spartan, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm with Spartan.
Yeah. So
good
how's
crew.
that going?
Go ahead, give him a little plug, give him a little shout.
Yeah, go check out the Spartan apparel, Instagram, Twitter, just Google Spartan Combat apparel, and we should come up.
I'll drop a link in the description.
Yeah. But they're awesome. They're awesome to work with. They're a great group of people putting together a lot of great things. So it's I think all of us that have signed are all pretty young, with the exception of obviously, some of the senior athletes are, kind of older, but, all the college athletes still have multiple years of eligibility left. So, I think we're building something really cool over there. That's Spartan.
Yeah.
And looking at like the people, like I started paying more and more attention to stuff. Obviously, you have like the Kyle Day, Yanni, who's I don't want to say Yanni's old, but like he's been around the scene a bit, you know. And then you
Yeah. It
have
seems like Yanni's been in college forever, but he's only a sophomore, junior, something like that.
I want to say this was his junior year, but he's like sixth year at this point, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his fault, you know. You're chasing that fourth national title. I mean, he could move on right now. I don't think people would bat too much of an eye at it.
No.
So
Yeah. I mean, he's
you got
If he left college now, he'd still go down as one of the top college wrestlers.
oh yeah,
that-
for sure.
I think that's something people don't talk about. Like if we're talking about all-time greatest college wrestlers, Yanni technically goes above Spencer Lee.
I'm
And by
staying out of that one.
probably pretty
I'm
decent
friends
margin.
with both of them, so I'm staying out of that one.
Okay.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole because both of them are great wrestlers and good people. So I mean, that's a toss up in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, assuming they both win their fourth, you know, Yanni's 11, Lee's 12, I think. I don't know.
But I feel like you have to count in what Yanni did at the national level as well, more than
You can't say that because then Snyder's above all of them.
true.
And Jaden Cox, too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey,
Like, I
They're
like
both-
Yanni, but we're going to leave his freestyle athletes out of this because there's a lot. But, you know, you've got David Carr there, Kylie Welker, who hasn't even stepped in the college scene yet. I think once he's already made a world team.
yes, I think she made the senior team last year,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, it's we got a good crew. Got a good crew running around. We got Yanni, Vito, myself, David, Kylie. I feel like I'm leaving someone else. Griffith.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So I mean, and then Gracie Figueroa too. So I mean, we got some hammers on the crew. So I mean, I'm excited.
No heavyweight in the Spartan crew yet.
Tom
I
Bradley.
don't think so. I'm
No,
not.
you need to get yourself a Spartan heavyweight.
We're working on it. Baby steps. Baby steps.
All right. So you're in, I want to say, you know, kind of like the youngest weight class. Well, it's like probably one of like the closest knit weight classes at nationals. Pretty much everybody there is young, with the exception of maybe Jacob Warner and Max Dean. Like everybody was either a freshman or a sophomore this year. So you're going to be competing with these guys for the.
I mean, there was a lot of multiple, guys that should have been done and graduated by now. Guys utilizing that COVID year.
We'll be on a 2-year curve for this one.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of guys that were on their 5th or 6th year coming through that weight. So I mean, there are a lot of young guys in that weight, but there's also a lot of really old vets as well.
Who are we talking about there?
I mean, I'm trying to think. Bullsick's gone now.
I mean, I'm just going kind of based on the top 8.
Yeah, no, top 8 that was pretty young. Yeah.
So like notable guys, Dean's coming back next year. AJ's coming back. AJ's already been going crazy on Instagram about that match.
Oh, jeez.
I think Warner's coming back. I think that's a little bit of a sleeper there.
Warner's coming back.
Buchanan's obviously solid. You got yourself. You got younger Bastida.
Rocky.
Guy who's just Rocky Elam. There's a lot of people.
It's legit.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, it's definitely not a one-horse race like some of the other weights now.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Yesterday when we talked to Rocky, we were saying any of those guys that you just named, you could interchange any of them to be the champ in the bracket, and nobody would bat an eye. Yourself, like all those young guys like that, you could put them winning the whole thing, and nobody would say anything else. Nobody would say anything against that. Yeah,
I mean, even myself, like I thought I underperformed a ton this year. But like looking back, our coaches, pulled us in for meetings last week, and they're like, you lost either 12 or 13 1-point matches to, All-Americans, like up and down, like the entire season. I was like, oh, great. Thanks for that. I feel a lot better now, but it's crazy how close college wrestling gets.
I was actually doing the math on that. Like I think right after nationals, you lost to Bastida. I want to say 3-2. Bastida beat Warner, and then Warner only lost to Dean by a single point in finals. And like, you saw Aiello versus Max Dean the round 16. Obviously there were some calls there, but like the entire weight class, like, what's his name? Gavin Hoffman took fifth as a 21 seed. So again, like,
Yeah,
a lot of people are coming back.
crazy.
Anybody could really win this. And you see, especially this sport more, you see more of a development the last few years, like the upper weights. Because, obviously I want to say there's a few things going into, obviously guys picking wrestling over football is a big one. But just in general, after you had Gable come to college, Snyder and those guys, see the upper weights developing. I want to say it's like kind of making like a downward trend down the weight classes. And 97 has some freak athletes nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, look at younger Rocky, myself, and Caffey are, I don't know how many world teams, but I know there's 3 world medals in just that little chunk. And that was, the first 2 rounds of the tournament, which is crazy, just crazy to think about. Or not Caffey, Foy from Minnesota.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's real good. But I mean, between the 4 of us, there's 4 world medals.
Yeah,
just in that little chunk. So I mean, it's crazy to think about how far or how deep we are in freestyle and Greco right now. I mean, heavyweight, it was what, like out of the quarterfinals, everybody had a world medal, I think, or almost everybody had a world medal.
Yeah, I want to say it was everybody had a world medal.
Everybody up until like the round of like 16. And I want to say like Hendrickson's the highest guy that didn't have a medal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Or maybe Lance.
Yeah, I think Lance was the only one in the quarters that didn't have it.
He's kind of just like one of those guys who came up from D2. So, I mean, if you throw him out there now, things might
hammer.
Change.
Yeah, he AA'd, right? I think he AA'd.
Yeah, he took 8th.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he took 8th.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah. So something you're seeing in college a lot more nowadays. I want to say like the second generation of athletes. It's like something I didn't notice like a couple years back, but now when you saw David Garr win his first national title last year, you see he's like some amount of years after his dad, and then you see Foy, as you said, his dad, the Mondays, obviously their dad's a legend right now. And you see this going on and on. I think this is something that obviously plays to like, I want to say like the older generation of people just coming back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with, Nick Lee, Joe Lee, Carson Carchalavo, we all kind of were based out of Carson's dad's club in Columbus. So, I mean, I didn't really think about it growing up, but yeah, now that you mentioned that, it is kind of a full circle moment for a lot of wrestling families. I don't come from a wrestling family, so it never really dawned on me that, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so's dad won a national championship. Now he's winning a national championship. But I mean, yeah, it's crazy how it's kind of coming full circle now.
Yeah. Your first season in college, obviously you had your bumps along the way, which, pretty much every freshman does. But, as you said, 12, 13 1-point matches, right? And, what are kind of your takeaways from this season?
Overall, I didn't think I did a terrible job. But, just doing the little things right, cutting weight the right way, making sure that, I don't have any distractions going on is kind of the main 2 takeaways. And obviously like nutrition, conditioning, as crazy it is not working out too much to save your legs and, make sure you have energy to go to get a takedown in the last 30 seconds when you need it. I learned a lot from this season. So, I mean, it's hopefully I can, progress and learn on those and develop on those lessons I learned this coming summer, I guess.
Yeah. A big thing on social media, hopefully you weren't paying attention to it, but like, after your debut, I think you won a 6-4 match, right? People were talking, oh, this weight cut's going to hurt him like in the long run. maybe he looks like really burnt out already. But then, you see the progression from like the beginning of the season to the end, as a lot of guys do. I think we've all been through this. Like beginning of the season, you feel sloppy. And then kids who are coming off like other seasons in high school just look a lot better. But what's kind of like your routine changed from like your preparation in terms of weight cutting, your diet, your workout?
Um, as far as diet goes, obviously cutting out junk, um, doing everything our nutritionist said by the letter, and just shrinking my body. Coming off of this summer, I was walking around. They wanted, or they didn't want me, but to be a successful and a big guy at 97 kilos, I had to stay around 220, 225, and then make the cut down to 97. And I did that all summer, and I was pretty lean going into the world championships. I think I was 11% body fat at 220. And then to make that cut to 97, I had to shrink my body, and I didn't start early enough. Looking back, I should have started, whenever, a month before the world championships, start getting my weight down to where I'm walking around at 97 kilos instead of 220. But we live and learn. It sucked learning the hard way, especially on that public of a stage. And as repeatedly as I did, it was tough, losing a 1-point match back-to-back weeks and going, what's going on? Why am I doing this? Why is this not working? Why is, because I was spending so much time worried about weight instead of, getting ready for the guy or, making sure that I got everything ready to go, as far as game plan and match strategy.
Looking back on your high school career, obviously kind of the opposite of what you just told me. You were probably one of the smallest 220s out there, your senior year, but, it didn't matter because you were a step above the competition, which, end days, high school, you wrestled some great guys like, I want to say Chase Horn and I think the Penn heavyweight nowadays.
Yeah. So I wrestled Horn, Penn's heavyweight, Owen Treffen from I think he's at UNC now. Ben Golden, that's the guy at Penn.
NC State.
Yeah. So I mean, I wrestled a lot of good guys in high school. Andy Smith, who's now at VTech. So I mean, it's kind of crazy how you're seeing him at Ironman, you're seeing him at Powerade, and then fast forward, we're all off in college, kind of doing our own thing.
Yeah. So I want to say back like almost 2 years ago now, we had Trent Hilger on the podcast, episode 19. He talked about you for a while. He said you were one of the most highly touted recruits coming into college, and, there's a lot of those guys who go undefeated out their high school, but you didn't give up an offensive point, right? And he was, what has he kind of done for you, coming into college and like vice versa?
He kicked my ass a lot. That's for sure. So it's kind of crazy. My first couple, I would say 6 weeks to 2 months in Madison, it was me, Trent, and Newt Smirchek, our RTC coach. And they just kicked the shit out of me like 3 times a week, every day, or every practice. I don't think I scored a takedown in those first 6 weeks, which is, coming from a high school kind of where I was doing whatever I wanted to, hey, welcome to college. You're not going to score points. We don't care what you did in high school. You're not going to score, and we're going to just rag on. So it was kind of fun, in a weird, sadistic kind of way. Looking back, in the moment, I hated everything because it was in the middle of COVID. The entire team wasn't in yet. Our coaches actually weren't allowed to see us, which was a crazy rule that the university made up in the middle of COVID. So like literally, it would be wake up, run, lift, whatever. going to practice, get the shit kicked out of me by Newt and Trent, and then go home and, do whatever. So it was crazy. It was very humbling. But Trent's kind of taught me how to be a college wrestler now. Heck, we live together. He's next door. So, it's or across the hall. He's, living with him, training with him, has really taught me how to grow up.
Oh, there's like a whole ass storm going outside. I didn't even notice. But yeah, so I think another big thing that happened with your guys' program, Evan Wick goes to Cal Poly. I heard you guys left on good terms, but I don't know anything about that. You guys bring in Dean Hamidi, as a true freshman, and he had an insane season, right? These guys might have been set to meet in the national semifinals, but Shane Griffith's again a hell of a wrestler. So
yeah.
So like, what do you think about like the entire situation of 165? How Wick did and how Hamidi did.
I thought DJ did great. True freshman coming in, taking what he takes sixth.
Yeah.
I think, that's he's a savage, in every way, shape, or form I can think of. The kid's, a savage. So it's getting to be on a team with him is amazing. And I'm waiting for him to, join the club at 74 and win a world championship. Because he can.
That outside? No. Okay, then we're good. It's like really loud in here. But yeah, that's awesome. I think you're.
Yeah, he's legit. I'm excited for him to, he still has 2 years, I think, of juniors. The kid's 18 years old. So it's exciting to have a front row seat to watching him work.
I haven't seen him wrestle freestyle at all, but if he ends up in that 74 kilo area, I think there's a lot of guys waiting for the downfall. I don't want to say downfall, but like the end to the Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake era. Going to step in. You got Isaiah Martinez, you have Evan Wick, you got Shane Griffith, and then there's could be a young guy that just shuts down those plans right off the bat, like Burroughs did coming out of college.
Yeah. No, I love JB, I love Kyle, but I'm excited to see who takes over after they're gone. I honestly, like, selfishly, I hope they wrestle for the next, 10 years and we get to watch them go to war for the next 10 years. But, sadly, our sport, doesn't do well or doesn't do good things to guys that stay around for, 20 years, post collegiate. It's brutal, but we love it. So
yeah, so, obviously being on a team, with guys like that has to definitely, pick up the spirits a little bit. You had a little bit of a rougher season than I'm sure you expected, but you have to, strive in the glory of those guys as well that, have had, successful, season this year at such a young age. So what do you think, your team's looking forward to as a whole for, the upcoming season, with the guys you're bringing in recruiting wise, and then also, young guys like Dean and everybody like that. So what are you guys looking forward to next season?
Yeah. So, we're excited. We have a handful of, of our incoming freshmen are coming out, I think, say next week or the week after. They're finishing their schooling up either online or early, moving in, any couches, rooms, whatever they can get and starting to train with us, like I did, like Zargo did, like Calhoun did when we were freshmen. And, it's great to see that those guys are already committed and ready to go. Especially at the weights that we need or will need in the future. We got a bunch of hammers coming in already. The coaches did an awesome job with this recruiting class. So I'm excited to see what our new guys can do. And then, we saw what a little bit of success can do to how, the country views our program. So, we're all kind of fired up and ready to go. Most of our guys were in the practice room today, chomping at the bit, We can't. The NCAA says that we have to take 2 weeks off after practice or after the nationals, and it's 10 days removed from nationals, 12 days, and we're already ready to go. We are already wanting to get back into practice and getting ready for season next year.
Your team had a great season this year. I think ranked as highly as I want to say third in the Big Ten at a point. Yeah. But you're bringing in even more guys. I think Hilger, I want to say, was the oldest guy, and he's coming back next year. So what's kind of your outlook for the team?
I think we're losing two or three. So I mean, it's up. It's up from here. I love the guys that we're losing. I'm gonna miss them. I'm roommates with one of them. So I mean, it's a sad day seeing those guys leave. But I'm excited to see what the future holds, because I mean, all of our guys coming back, either scored points at nationals or could have scored points at nationals. So I mean, it's there's a lot better teams that did a lot better than us this year that are losing, half their lineup, more than half their lineup. There's a few teams that beat us in duels this year that are losing half or more of their lineup. That we're excited to get another shot at them.
Yeah. So Michigan and Iowa, since you didn't want to say it, but it's freestyle season pretty much for you and Greco. I don't know which one you're trying to pursue more. You're going to go for both of them again, but what are you looking forward to? World Team Trials coming up? Not that far away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Senior trials are in 7 weeks. I want to say 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So I mean, it's coming up pretty quick, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited just to get back in the room and start training, like anything. It's kind of going crazy, with nothing to do right now. So I mean, I'm excited just to get back in the room and start training with the guys. It's crazy how, during the very end of the season, we're excited to compete, but at the same time, you're kind of feeling like some time off would be nice, as soon as season's done, no off days until nationals, but as soon as season's done, I'm done for 2 weeks. I'm doing absolutely nothing. And then like 2 or 3 days after nationals, I'm looking around like, all right, all my homework's done. I'm ahead of class right now. What do I do now? What am I supposed to do, guys? So I mean, I'm excited just to get back with my team.
Any chance you see yourself going down 92?
No. So here's my issue with, I could make 92. I could compete at 92. But Greco's next weight down is like 87 kilos, which is way too small for me. So it wouldn't be an issue if Greco had like a 91 or a 93 or, 90 kilos, something around there. But the fact that it's 87 or 97 for Greco means that I'm staying at 97 for freestyle. I'm walking around right now at like 210, 209. So, I mean, listen, trust me, I would love to go to 92, but until Greco figures out the weights, I guess I'm staying at 97.
You're in a weight class with Jangela Hancock, and I want to say the USA Greco team has been lacking for the past couple of years. Obviously it's no surprise there, but you guys are definitely on the uprise with Colton Schultz. Again, it was just a matter of time. I think maybe if Adam Kuhn makes a return, who knows what happens, but you got you and Hancock at 97, right? And that kind of, if you were at 87, you probably make the team for the Olympics. There's a good chance. Looking at 97, you have Hancock, I want to say he's like 23, 24. I think the first USA Greco medalist in a while. Yeah. Has literally, I think he's pinned Arthur Alexanian. which was also insane to see. It's like you're gonna have your battles in the future. I mean, you were young. You guys gonna soon keep getting closer as time goes on. So, what are you looking forward to in that?
I'm looking forward to competing. It's anytime that the U.S. has, an age level medalist and a senior level medalist going for a spot, it's a good day for USA Wrestling. Whether I'm the guy or Tracy's the guy, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's whatever's best for Team USA that year. Whether it's whether it's me or Tracy, it's kind of whoever wins wins. And I still have a lot to learn in Greco. I know that I'm not, some technique prodigy that, knows everything about the sport of Greco-Roman wrestling. I kind of just threw together, some conditioning and a couple moves that I had at the Olympic trials. And, the cards turned up in my favor. But, it's, I'm going to have a hard time getting to Tracy. And then, obviously beating Tracy would be, a really good move for myself, but it is what it is. I got to go after him.
Heading into the Olympic trials, I think you had to go through Last Chance too, right?
Yeah.
Even then, like that was a hell of a run. What'd you expect coming into the Olympic trials? You just like, is this going to be a good experience, or like, did you truly believe there was a chance you could win?
No, I didn't. It was funny because like my mom and dad and my sister were like, all right, do you want us there at the Olympic trials? I was like, and this was, before Last Chance. I was like, listen, if I make the trials, no, just come to juniors. I'm supposed to win juniors. Come to juniors, hopefully I'll win. We'll throw a party, end of discussion, and then, I pull off qualifying in both. And I was like, all right, cool. I get to go to the Olympic trials before I go to high school or before I go to college. And then I went on the run, and, I didn't make I think either Bono or Reader called my parents and were like, listen, he's 2 matches away from being an Olympian. Like somebody has to be here. And, we didn't think he was going to win the last 3. Who knows if he's going to win, a match in the next best 2 out of 3, but he just pulled off 3 upsets. So, we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants here. Somebody needs to be here. So the next morning, my mom and sister, so they're the closest airport to my house is in Columbus. On the 2-hour drive to Columbus, bought the plane tickets to be in Dallas that night. So, I mean, that was kind of the roundabout way of saying we had no idea I was going to do anything at the Olympic team trials.
Yeah, I know pretty much everybody was rooting for you. You have to pull that off. I think, Hancock's good though. Like, again, you're going to have your battles from your house. For freestyle heading into the future, how stacked like we are at 97 kilos. Is that something you're truly pursuing, or are you just trying to go the Greco route?
No, I'm going to do both with everything I have until either I'm the number 1 guy, and then I'm still probably going to do the other just for fun, or the coaches sit me down, one day in the future and go, hey, it's time to pick one. Until then, until one of them is paying my bills, who cares? Let's just do both, and whatever happens.
Yeah, let it fly.
Did you feel like burnt out a bit? Because I know Adam Kuhn was doing this like back when, I want to say in freestyle he lost to Gwiz at Final X, and then he beat Bobby Smith. This was a big one where he pinned him to make the world team in 2018. I don't think he ever talked about it, but he's just like, you can't really tell. Like,
as far as burnout, no. I mean, there was definitely points in time last summer where I looked and I was like, I need a break, but it was more from stuff outside of wrestling, or not. I mean, it was still related to wrestling, but it was stuff that, wasn't about the training, or, it was always the travel or kind of the just politics getting involved with a sport. Between trying to run camps in the summer, like my own camps to, make some money because I wasn't able to, I wasn't on scholarship yet. So couldn't pay, I had to find a way to pay rent, had to find a way to, pay the bills. So I was doing camps and, all the politics with, club, youth clubs and high schools and middle schools and all that, fun stuff. So, dealing with that was a lot, dealing with traveling internationally. And then, on top of that, like just wondering like, oh my God, am I ready for this? Am I ready to, go compete at the World Championships? So, I mean, but as far as getting burnout from wrestling, not a chance. I love this sport. Will do anything for this sport. I don't think you can burn out of something that, I've spent my entire life doing, and I love it. I wouldn't be anywhere. Wouldn't rather be anywhere else doing anything else.
As an athlete that has built up the name for yourself, like before even wrestling a collegiate match, you were an Olympic trials finalist, right? You built up the following on social media. You're not a guy who promotes your stuff often. It's just kind of like a personal Instagram for you. How has NIL really played a difference for you? Going like running camps, getting these sponsorships and doing all that.
It's been all right. It's I'm already comfortable with how the university's taking care of us. It's just kind of all going into some account somewhere that will hopefully grow over time, but I'm like you said, I'm not real big on social media. I'll post, I'll do what I need to do, but it's definitely haven't exploited NIL as much as some. But at the same time, I'm also not trying to look like a clown on social media at all times of the day and night. It's, I think social media is kind of how, I treat it as I'm not going to support something that I don't already support day to day. And that's that, whether it, if I lose thousands of dollars because I don't agree with what a company stands for, then I lose thousands of dollars because, a company can't prove that their stuff's clean stuff. It is what it is.
I think that's a trap. I want to say a lot of college athletes have fallen into, a lot of these big name athletes, because, if you're talking about like college sports in general, football obviously has the biggest fan base and potential upside for advertisers. You just see like the most random products going through just because they have this advertising budget that they can just throw at people, right?
Yeah.
And that becomes a problem. It's like you're a college athlete who's never been able to make money before, right? Kids have been kicked off of teams. What's his name? The destroying guy on YouTube. He was kicked off his team because he had a YouTube channel. Like, and I have one now, and like I can just do it. Obviously it's not just big, but like I'm not getting in trouble by any means right now. So, and they'll just advertise everything, right? Because how does it feel like, say if I've played my ass off my entire life at this sport and I get $10,000 for an ad? Maybe I don't believe in it, but as like a 20, 21-year-old college student, $10,000 is like a new car pretty much.
Listen, if you get $1,000, it's big money. It's any amount of money that I can make on a social media post is big money, because that's
facts.
It's what a 20-minute figuring out which picture I'm going to make or take and what my caption's going to be. Like, for that's make your price, whatever the hourly wage would be for that, and you're looking at pretty educated jobs if you're making that hourly.
Yeah. What's it normally? I want to say like for like an actual athlete, it's normally like I want to say at least $10 per 1,000 followers. Just put that out there. Idea. I don't need a number from you. I know you don't want to share that, but
I don't. Like I said, like I really don't know what the going rate is.
$10,000 per $10
per 1,000 followers. Yes, normally for an athlete. because obviously, like
Yeah,
as
I don't
me,
know.
like I'm not, my face isn't really associated with this page, obviously, unless we're doing the podcast, which I kind of have to be here. Like if I post something, if I'm like, hey, go buy this product, is it going to sell more with Gable Steveson advertising it like he did for Killcliff, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the big
Yeah, I don't
thing.
know. I don't I don't know what like I said, I'm not real big into that
Yeah.
game yet. And I mean, who knows? I go off win a national championship and companies are throwing big money at me. I might figure out, what the going rate is and figure all that out later. But until that's an issue, listen, if you can let me go to class, work out, and go shoot guns event like every, once a month, you're not going to hear a whole lot from me.
Man, if you need an agent, let me know. But no, I feel like it's like I say, if you need an agent.
Oh yeah.
But like, just in general, like I think guys have used it very well. I know I'm kind of going on and on about this, but like,
Yeah.
if you literally just post a picture of you getting your hand raised after every match you win, or just like a picture of you working out, like I know this is obviously looked at differently by like, I know younger people are bigger on social media, older people are like stay humble and all this crap because you've seen Carter Starachi's Instagram captions.
I love Carter. Carter and I are friends. But reading, my favorite thing to do, do whatever you say, whatever you want on social media.
Yeah.
You be you on social media. I don't care. Reading the captions, or not the captions, sorry, the comments.
The comments, yeah,
are entertainment for me. Like, who was it?
I show up, add to the body count and bounce, and then he posts one day I wake up with my dreams in my face. I'm about it all day, every day. And then the last one was him flexing Ncaa like this, like after overtime, and he says dream killer.
Yeah, I mean, do or say whatever you want on social media. I'm gonna read the comments. I'm probably gonna like the post or whatever for friends. I'm gonna read the comments for entertainment because you could, oh my gosh, I just cured cancer. And like people are down in the comments, like just insulting you, your family, like everything, bringing up dirt from like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's hilarious. Like I find entertainment in that people who have no idea what the kid's about, where he's from, what his backstory is, will just find reasons just to go after people.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, obviously, I'm nobody to talk shit to Carter Starachi.
Comments are fire.
Oh man,
Heavyweight Nation page comment section is deadly. I think honestly, if we took everything to heart that those people say, we would never put anything on social media again.
Oh, listen, some of the entertainment is the message boards too. I mean, we're not supposed to read message boards, whatever. But like, how nasty and like just off in left field some of these people are is hilarious.
Did you see the Kennedy Monday post that I posted? I think it was like 2 of them back to back. One was I want to say it's like 10 from the top, maybe. About
on the Heavyweight Nation page?
Yeah, about 10, 20 from the top. It's a picture of him and Mekhi Lewis staring at each other. It says on site as the caption, right? I don't know what's going on, and then there's
I have no idea.
A post underneath that with them wrestling. You can turn on the audio. I'd say play a little bit quietly. But, obviously he posts that. He goes out of his way to turn off the comments, which, I'm fine with people talking or whatever. Like, I'm not going to look at you differently. I just feel that, like, if you're going to say something, you can't turn off the comments and avoid the backlash.
And, I mean, that's kind of half the fun, is reading the crazy just stuff that people will just put on there without thinking twice.
Yeah. If you read my comments, some dude called out Kenny Monday, like his dad. And I was like, oh, you
don't mess with him.
I was like, yo, that's kind of off limits. It wasn't anything bad. It was like,
you don't bring in family to things.
It was
You
more
don't.
like a "come get your son" type of comment.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah,
like
especially not
son
that,
back
man.
in
I
the
don't know.
pool. Yeah.
I remember I was telling
yeah, I
Bob
don't know.
Bradley about this.
I like I've said, like I stay off social media. You know, if you look at my stuff, it's a bunch of my friends from school and a bunch of hunting, fishing, military pages. It's
Oh yeah.
I try to keep my nose clean as far as social media goes because people are lethal with everything and like they don't hold punches.
Yeah, not gonna lie. I think you need to definitely learn a new paraphrase other than keeping my nose clean. But we're just
Yeah,
gonna roll
you know what I
with
mean.
We're
You
gonna
know what I
roll
mean.
with keeping my nose clean.
My USADA tests are clean, so we're good.
Zaid.
We don't ASU. Yeah, continue. So
Barstool Athlete, I think you're the first one of those we've had. I think that was a big thing that started the NIL trend.
Yeah, that
Like,
was interesting, an interesting just whole just explosion, I guess.
I don't know if you're allowed to disclose anything, but whatever
I
is
haven't
there.
got anything,
You haven't got
so I
anything.
don't know.
Because I know they posted like 7,000 pictures on their thing.
Yeah, I don't think that shit. I don't know if I'm even one of those pictures.
you never got your package?
Nope.
How did I get the package and he did it?
I don't know, but
I'm a Division II heavyweight and you didn't get the package?
So like whenever I signed up, I wasn't officially on roster yet because it was still.
I want to say they're still
I
sending
signed
stuff
up
out.
like in Russia. Like I literally like did all the paperwork and stuff while we were sitting in a pizzeria in Ufa, Russia. I was like, shit, I'm gonna try this. This like worst case scenario, what? I get a t-shirt. All right. I like t-shirts.
That's what's in the package is a t-shirt.
Right? Like I was like, yeah, I'll do a Barstool, what do I do? Put it in a bio and make a post and I get a t-shirt. Sure. I like, I got a Saturdays are for the boys flag somewhere around here, screw it. Why not?
I think what's it called? Gable, RBY, and Lee were like the first three wrestlers. Obviously, I don't want to say three of the biggest names in college wrestling. I want to say Yanni might have, I don't think Yanni would have been in there. I think Ivy Leagues might be a little more strict about that stuff, but
I'll tell you who's strict is UW is pretty strict about
really?
the whole NIL stuff.
Really?
Yeah, some of their rules are different about for NIL.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, so like I can't try to think. I got in trouble early in the year about it. Like you can't obviously like the W is completely off limits to post with like if I was making a post for Spartan, I couldn't have, or I couldn't have this shirt on. It's kind of crazy how that, you would
was
think
that kind of like this one for current?
Yeah. So that one's fine because I have a Sunkist t-shirt and a Spartan hat for, current, like the financial app. So like that one's good. But I think it was like a shot sled video or post or something. And I was in the Wisconsin wrestling room and I had on like old Wisconsin wrestling shorts. And, it was like 2 or 3, gear contracts ago, it was just whatever was sitting. And I think one of the team guys' lockers who was moving out, he's like, hey, you want these shorts? They're 3 years old. I was sure, whatever. But so I took the video, posted it, and like someone in our admin saw it and was like, you're not allowed to take or make posts in our facilities or with our gear on. I was like I understand the definition. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like where else are you supposed to shoot a shot sled ad? Like
yeah, I was like I can't go to our, student gym and take a video with shot sled. Like what am I supposed to do now? Like so it's yeah, some of the rules are different.
Are there certain rules
but
about
I'm happy for the I'm happy that they're at least letting us participate in NIL. So, we'll play by whatever rules they tell us to play by.
Yeah. I know.
Is there certain rules on what companies you could accept as well?
So I think it's anything that doesn't directly compete with like UW sponsorship. So like I think I think we're sponsored by like Pepsi. So I can't I can't sign a contract with Coca-Cola.
I mean, at that point, I think you might as well just like transfer schools. That's like a multi-million-dollar deal right there.
I mean, listen, if Coca-Cola wants to sponsor me, we can talk. But yeah, so for the most part, it's like I think it's like no tobacco products, no alcohol products, no like can't have like a bar that's like you can have a bar and grill, but not a bar.
Is that just because you're not 21 yet, or are you 21?
No, so I turned 21 in about a month, but I think that's just across the board. No, like nothing related directly to alcohol is allowed to be supported.
So, but if there is alcohol included, because I know Gable, his first deal was like with Go Puff or something. They deliver alcohol too.
Go Puff's good, because it's like not only booze.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm just kind of just doing my own thing, and if they yell at me and tell me not to do something, I'm like, all right, sorry, big dumb country kid. I won't do it again.
How's that go with the brands though? Like, I know the whole Shotsa thing. Did you have to refilm it, or did you just like?
It was kind of a slap on the wrist, like, hey, don't do it again, kind of thing.
I mean, from Shotsa, like, what do they say? Because you're kind of like required to post the video.
No, so like they were understanding, but at the same time, they were like, hey, if you can't do the, you can't do the videos, we can't pay you. And I was like, all right, I get it. I'm sorry.
Did you make an attempt to go out to like an RTC or something?
So not really. Not, our RTC is based in our wrestling room.
Nah. You should have just took it on the front lawn and just started doing double legs.
I honestly, I thought about it just to be that guy. Yeah. But I don't like causing issues. So I was just like, all right, sorry, my bad. It was my first, it was like my first month in school.
First month, so I was just, that.
Yeah, I was like, all right, my bad. I'll just be a good kid. Please don't yell at me. I'll do whatever you guys want me to do.
I'm going to give you a solution that may or may not work.
All right.
Green screen. Just toss it behind you where the sled's going and just.
I thought about that.
Really?
But I forget who it was. Like, took pictures in our room and then like sent them to whatever company, and they did like edited a background, and they were like, well, you took the pictures in our room, so let's not do this again. Right. But you can't see like
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, you can, that because you were there watching us take the pictures. But why are we, you can't tell. So like, what's the difference between that and us taking a picture outside and, on the street,
Yeah. At this point, you might as well just head down to Parkside with Kate and Henschel.
Yeah, no, it's and this was like right when NIL opened up. So I mean, they've become, as they've kind of seen other colleges play their hands, they've kind of loosened up a little bit on us athletes as far as what we can and can't do. So
yeah.
I
mean,
so we've had you here for about 55 minutes. I think it's time to get into
time for my favorite part.
Do you have anything else to talk about?
I don't know. I think we covered pretty much.
I think we did too. So we have these questions we ask at the end. Derek's are just completely random. You probably already know.
I'm going to go first today.
No, you're not. We always end up with that. We always end up with that question.
Yep. So I'm going to go first.
Okay, I'm going to ask first.
Never mind. I guess I'm not going first.
You can ask the first question. We'll leave the last one.
You went first yesterday.
I went first every single time.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. He knows I'm right. But your favorite wrestler of all time, one folk style, one freestyle, cannot be Wisconsin wrestler.
Ooh, one folk style.
I mean, freestyle Greco. You can put those together.
Oh, okay. Greco, I'm going Karelin. Freestyle. It's hard to beat JV. You know, I was just getting into international, like watching international wrestling when JB kind of took the world by storm. So I mean, I'm either JB or Snyder, or both guys that I love and look up to. So, and then folk style, probably Reader. Watching Reader, some of his old matches, is definitely kind of this style I'm trying to go after. And his pace and his gas tank too. So,
Karelin Lopez super match.
I'm taking
Karelin.
Lopez.
I'm taking.
Are we talking like both of them in their prime?
See, I think this is one of the biggest things because if you take Bruce versus Gable, for example, it's like you put them head to head. Gable smokes him 10 out of 10 times just because technique wasn't as advanced back then. But I'm saying if we adjust
also
for like
have the recency bias. None of us were there for prime Bruce and prime Karelin.
no, I think that's fair. I still think.
So I mean,
I think I've seen enough videos where I think Lopez would take him out. I feel if Lopez wrestled through this last quad and didn't sell those matches to Riza, it wouldn't be too much of a debate because he has that 4th Olympic gold.
yeah, I mean, I
I think it's close either way.
Yeah, no, I think it's a barn burner that we all look and go, all right, that's one of the best matches ever. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, JB Satiev.
Going JB.
JB. Okay.
Yeah. Team
All right.
USA, baby.
I respect it. My second question, 2023 national picks.
Here we go again.
This can end up one of two ways.
It can either end up being realistic or it can end up being you're going to name the entire Wisconsin team. And if you're going to just say Wisconsin wins the team title and they're going 10 for 10. So we don't have
we're going 10 for 10, baby. 10 for 10.
Okay, good. Because last time we did this, I asked the same thing. I was like, okay, if you're going to just name your whole team, just say that. He's like, no. And then he named everybody and then went Aaron Brooks and then the other two guys after.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're training for, right? To go 10 for 10, get pins in every round, go 10 for 10 and win a national championship. That's the goal, right? So
I mean, the most team points ever scored in the history of the NCAA. If your guys all 10 pinned every round, pinned through the finals, that would be an insane amount of team points.
What's the most amount of team points possible? Technically, everybody would need to pull like a 32 or 33 seed and pin all the way to the finals to get that pigtail points.
Yeah, I think so. What would that?
Insane.
It'd be a lot of points.
It's over 200.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's the points record right now?
170 or something.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's really a lot. But
if Penn State was ever able to do some of the consolations, we could have broken that this year possibly.
Yeah. Penn State's when you're a Penn State wrestler and you go in the consolations, you're fumbling the bag.
It was rough, but
all right. So it's my turn now. Your questions have been over. All right. So, we are Heavyweight Nation. We are some large men that enjoy some good food. So we're coming, if hypothetically we were coming to watch a Wisconsin-Madison duel, where we got to go to eat after? What's the number one spot that you've been to in Wisconsin?
So eating after? So after the duel, I would definitely go to Scotty Bar. It's where all of our, RTC alum, everybody go after. As far as like food goes, I don't really know. I eat in most of the time, so
What's the go-to daily meal? Like, what's one thing that you cook the most?
we cook a lot of pasta in this house. Like anything with noodles or rice is definitely somebody's eating it in the house every night. So like the school gives us lunches, so you know, lunch will be kind of whatever they serve, and then dinner is usually chicken or beef with pasta or rice. If there's pasta, it's usually red sauce, and if there's rice, there's usually some kind of concoction of whatever we have in the fridge going on. So
Yeah,
yeah.
solid. And then finally, we asked this question to everybody. It's been a question we asked since the beginning of us doing this. So you can take 4 of your Wisconsin Badger teammates with you, 4, into the zombie apocalypse to build your survival super team. Who would it be and why?
First off, Anders Lance, however you say his last name. Anders, I'm sorry. You're coming with me. Just cause like he's from up north, pretty handy with a rifle. He's coming with me. Trying to think after that, whose feelings aren't going to get hurt from being left out. Trying to think. I'm probably taking McNally for, he likes camping and guns and that kind of thing. I'm bringing Zargo with me in case, we need him to hotwire a car. I feel like most people from Jersey know how to hotwire a car. That's
Yes, we do.
Yeah, exactly. See what I mean?
He wrestled in my county in high school. I remember he was like 30 minutes away from me. He was like a nobody coming into high school, and then one year he went from like placing like barely 5th in our county, goes to Bergen Catholic, and then gets an offer to Wisconsin. It's like the most random thing.
Kid's legit now.
Yeah,
he's good. He's real good.
Kind of wish he stayed in the conference, but
I'm hoping we hear a name come out of your mouth of who you need to bring with you.
You know who the name is. You can just say it.
I think you know.
Oh, who am I supposed to? Who's the last one I'm supposed to bring with me?
I think he's got his ear on your. I think he's got his ear on your door right now, listening in.
I mean, maybe Trent.
Thank you.
I don't know.
You wouldn't take legitimately the real life Thor with you?
I mean, he's from like Michigan. He's from like the city, isn't he?
I don't know.
It's like
so like he claims that he's from Flint, which is hilarious because like we'll make Flint jokes at him.
Yeah, like no offense, but like who wants to claim that they're from Flint, Michigan? Like
that's kind of like I don't know if that's a joke or whether it's true. But like, so when we were in Detroit, when we were getting like training up for Detroit, him and Reader would be like, "Yeah, we're going back to home." Like, when we got there, I was like, "This is home, all right, okay." It's like you guys got clean water around here.
Drink the tap water.
Yeah, no, like that. No, it was where they had us at. The facilities at Nationals and the hotel and everything was awesome. So I mean, I'm not knocking them. I am messing with Reader and Trent though, because that was fun.
Imagine he just walks in right now.
No.
Imagine he just opens your door. He's like,
I hope not. He's supposed to be in class.
Oh,
yeah, I mean maybe. Yeah, all those grad school guys have class like late at night. So
it'd be interesting. I know you only have to take like 2 classes a semester as a grad student, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Grad school's a long ways away from me, so
I always imagine what life would be like after you graduate. You actually have to do work then.
Yeah, no, I fear the day that I graduate, or not that I graduate, but like I fear the day that I'm completely done with wrestling, like out of the wrestling community, like period.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I
be a
feel
sad
like
day.
you're at the point in this sport already where you could just like start like a YouTube channel and just talk. You need to have like 10,000 subscribers in like a month.
I don't know, because like I'm not good at the whole social media talking kind of
Oh, you're
thing.
not the worst. You're not the worst. Let me tell you.
We don't
Not
call
the
people
worst.
out about that, okay?
We're not going to call anybody out, no names, but I will inform you, you are not the worst we've talked to. We have had.
I'm happy. I'm happy I'm not on the bottom of the list.
Oh man, we've had to like pull questions out of people, like answers. It was bad. It's bad. Like you know, this was pretty good, but
All right.
This is definitely one of the better ones, honestly.
yeah.
We've done over 100 episodes now too, so
Yeah, you're 101. The first.
Let's go.
To the next set, leading up.
Who
to
were Rocky and them 100?
Rocky
Rocky
and
and
Dom,
Dom? Yeah.
Lucky them. Dang.
Well, we were trying to do a Missouri super episode. That was going to be like, because a lot of the Missouri guys, they've reached out and they support, like almost their entire team follows us because of Dom. Dom like talks about us in the middle of their practices. Like he'll just be like, "Oh, you see what Heavyweight Nation posted." So they all follow us. So we were going to do Keegan, Zach, Rocky, Certain, and Dom, and it was going to be 6 of us in one episode. And then, then it was Certain couldn't do it with all of them, so he did it by himself. And then Keegan and Zach are on vacation in Florida because their spring break just started this week.
Wow. Okay, so like our spring break was during nationals, so like we got back. I had a paper due Sunday night. I had an exam on either Monday night or Tuesday morning. So like we were like, oh hey, sorry nationals didn't go great, but here's a ton of work. Good luck. Like what are we doing?
I think one of my teammates, he's a transfer. I think went to Lock Haven, Clarion.
Okay.
He's kind of just taking like gen eds right now because he's heading into his grad year. He plays third at nationals this year, so and then he had like 6 assignments due. This man was up to like pulled like 2 all-nighters in a row.
Yeah, no, it was a rough couple days, coming back, dealing with, kind of the letdown of nationals. And then like, oh, by the way, you have a psych exam. You got a 1,000-word paper due on by the end of the week for, some, I think my early childhood class. I was like, oh, great.
I love a good early childhood class.
Yeah, it was okay. So it's the weirdest, like explaining what we had to do for class makes me feel like a pedophile. Like we had to watch, toddlers like make observation and have like an hour and a half of observation time on like toddlers. I was like, how is this going to help me be a wrestling coach? Like I get that this is the class, but like I have no interest.
Toddler number 1 picked his nose and then put a block in his mouth.
Exactly. It was like,
yeah.
I was like, these kids can't tie their shoes. Like, no offense to any parents of kids that can't tie their shoes, but if you can't tie your shoes, you can't wrestle.
It's just natural selection at that point.
Yeah, like
I feel like my elementary.
Bring your kids to me after they can tie their shoes, and I'll try to teach them how to wrestle. But until then,
you won't tie their shoes for them if they need help.
I mean, if they need help, I'll help them. But if they just straight up can't physically know, if they haven't learned one thing, if they can't grab the shoelaces, I'm out. See ya.
I feel like because I've the elementary program at my school, my high school before I came out to college. I remember all those kids. It'd be 15, 16 of them, and every time it would be every 10 minutes of practice. Coach, my shoe came untied. Could you tie my shoe for me? I'm like, holy.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Because my shoes come untied during practice too, which
so I get out the tape and you're just taping everybody's shoes. Everybody's getting tape on their laces.
Yeah. Then you get trainers mad at you though. Then you can't take them off. But yeah, no. So it was don't get me wrong. I love school here, but some of these classes I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to use any of this for. Sorry, not sorry. This is not fun.
What are you majoring in? Or are you still undecided?
That's a great question. I always joke like I'm majoring in wrestling and minoring in whatever they tell me I'm doing, but realistically, either psychology or rehab psychology.
What was the one like every Penn State guy was doing, like kinesiology?
I think it was kines or exercise. It was either kines or exercise phys.
I feel like that's just like the thing they were doing. They just didn't want to be in school.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's kind of funny. Like everybody, I think almost every athlete that was in grad school and like that wasn't going to grad school to, they were going to grad school because they had leftover eligibility, as in the what's called ELPA. It's some higher education major, like grad school major. But it's kind of funny how that all works. How every school has kind of their own little pathway they just kind of shove kids into once they're in doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Braxton, it was great talking to you. We definitely look to catch up in the future. Maybe it'll be episode 201. We'll record another 100 episodes and you'll come back.
Hey, I'm
on.
always down to come back, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna pitch an idea real quick.
Send Trent our best regards when you see him. Tell him the boys from Heavyweight Nation said hello.
I will.
We'll have to get him back on the show, one more time before he graduates.
For sure.
All right, so thank you for coming on. This has been episode 101 of Late Night Shots. We'll see you guys again next time.